All right, so welcome to what I believe is going to be session zero for another solo tabletop role playing game campaign here on the Black Tower, or in Black Tower Tales, I guess I should say. Um, I was excited about Shadowdark coming out in the coming months and having the quick start guide for the players and DMs available. And so I figured we can probably use that to start a game and then keep it going once the full books are actually available. I'm planning on using this with the Mythic GM emulator plus some of these other universal NPC generators and things like that uh, along the way. But yeah, but this is for session zero, and I figured in the classic sort of old school role playing style, we'd roll up 6 or 8 stat blocks for initial level zero characters, sort of flesh them out a little bit, give them stats, figure out their races, their names, and then use one of these generators to figure out like what their character is like, and then what is their character motivation going into the level zero meat grinder type thing, where we're gonna use the fate charts to figure out what the nature of the danger that this group is in is. It could be some sort of demon apocalypse. It could be some sort of they're all trapped in a dungeon, or they were all slavers and they're trying to escape. Something like that. We don't know. And I'm sort of excited to figure out that on the fly here. I did this sort of thing with the Nix and Wiggins Shadow Cloak campaign, but the first of the 2 episodes got nixed because I didn't record the audio, or the audio didn't come through. But let's not. Let's get going here. And I figure what I was thinking of doing is trying something new and taking notes on this like graph paper that I have, rather than on these little things that you might not be able to read as easily. But now we get to roll up our characters. So for that we need character 1. We have strength, dex, con, int, wisdom, charisma. And we roll these down the line, just 3d6. And as long as we have at least 114, we're good to go. So this is wow, that's a 15 right away. 15 in our strength. Let's see if I can write that a little bigger. There we go. 15 strength. That is a 6 on the dexterity. That's great. Let's see, an 11 on the constitution. All right. I think having a low constitution would be really bad in Shadowdark, just the way that I've seen the rules. Holy shit, that's a 17. Wow. 17 int, 15 strength. What kind of character is this going to be? All right. Okay. Wow. A 17 wisdom. This guy's a beast. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. And then a 13 charisma. So he's just like, he's not very dexterous, but he's sort of a banger in all the other dimensions. So character 2. Let's see. That's a 9. That's okay. It's a good start. Not really. That is a 6. I roll 6s on dex a lot, apparently. I might have a cat attack me here in a moment. There's an 11 for Constitution. There's a 13 for Intelligence. Okay. So if we don't get a 14 here for Wisdom or Charisma, and that's a 13, almost. 13 on the Wisdom. And then that's an 11 on the Charisma, right? 6, 4, and 1. Yeah, that's 11. So we don't have a 14 there. So we're going to start anew. There's a 10 for Strength. Okay, 15 for Dex. So we're keeping this character no matter what. 14 for con. That's good. That's also really good. Okay. A 5 for intelligence. Ouch. So this is they're a stout and dexterous person that's just not very bright. Oh, geez. A 6 wisdom. And they're also blind. Oh, man. And that's going to be a 10 for charisma. Okay, okay. So character number 3 here. Starting in with a 9 on strength. And then going into, that's an 11 for dex. That's not too bad. So we're rolling average on this guy so far. There's a 15 for constitution. All right, we're keeping this guy too. 13 int. Oh, yep. Told ya. Oh, buddy. Oh. I thought that I had turned off the chaos thing, but oh well. Let's see. Wisdom here is next. There's a 5. Oh, buddy. 7 for the charisma. All right, that is. I mean, they got good con, I guess. Number 1 is still the best one that we've had so far. Let's see. There's a 10 for strength. All right. Nine for dex. 7 for constitution. 8 for int. This guy's not doing too hot so far. For 8 for wisdom. All right. So, okay, so that's a 9 for charisma. We are going to be restarting this guy because we just didn't have the 14 that we needed to be a keeper. There's 8 for strength. 9 for dex. 8 for constitution. That's already not a very good start. But we'll see. There's 15 for intelligence. So we're keeping this guy. 6 for wisdom. Lots of blind people on this team. 9 for charisma. All right. Okay, so we've got halfway through, we've got one really strong, really smart, and wise person. We've got a dexterous, stout person who's not very bright and doesn't see very well. One person who's pretty stout and kind of smart, but is kind of ugly. An intelligent person that is just also kind of blind. And I feel like this number 4 is our wizard so far because he's got intelligence and that's sort of all he got. 5. There was 11 for strength to start out number 5, character 5. 8 for dex. All right. 13 for constitution. Uh-oh. 8 for intelligence. Okay, so we are pretty close to restarting this roll once again. 11 for wisdom. We got one more chance. Otherwise, we're going to be re-rolling number 5 here. 11. 14 for charisma. All right. So that's just barely good enough. He actually has, I don't know, only 2 -1s on dex and int. That's not too bad. At least he has a +1 on constitution. So level 0 character number 6 here is going to be 7, 9 on the strength. 14 on Dex. Okay. So they're doing pretty good on that front. 7 on Constitution. 12 for Intelligence. Alright, had a mishap with the microphone there. But basically, now we're going to roll Wisdom. 7 for Wisdom. 10 for Charisma. So this person we're keeping this because they do have a 14 in Dex. I think we are going to do 2 more. So we're going to go to the full 8. $11 for Strength. All right, that's a good start. 8 for Dex. 8 for Con. Got a cat distracting me over there to the left. 13 for Intelligence. Okay. It's not quite good enough yet to keep. 6 for Wisdom. And then 9 for Charisma. So we are going to scrap this character and start again. $12, yes, for Strength. 9 for Dex. 9 for Constitution. 15 Intelligence. All right, there we go. Wait, 654 is 15. It's 11, 12, 13 for Wisdom. And so we are going to be keeping this because they've got that 15 in the Wisdom, or 15 in Intelligence. 11 in Charisma. And then the final character here, number 8. 12 for Strength. 13 for Dex. 7 for Constitution. 11 for Intelligence. Still not good enough yet. We'll see. Oh, there's a 14. So this person's actually not doing too bad. Like decent strength, decent dex, and wisdom. 5, 10, 16 for charisma. All right, there we go. So this is our team. We've got our first guy who's basically the smartest and wisest, but also the strongest out of all of them. The second character is very dexterous, but kind of blind and kind of dumb. Third is really stout on the constitution and is kind of intelligent, but also blind, and very ugly. Character number 4 is pretty smart and doesn't really have anything else going for them. Character 5 is pretty good on charisma and constitution, but is lacking in dexterity and intelligence. Number 6 is pretty dexterous and is actually quite smart. Number 7 is smart and also a little bit strong. Number 8 has mostly charisma and wisdom, but is pretty frail on the constitution side of things. All right, so we've got our 8 characters there. What we need now is to figure out what race they are, what their names are, and then something about them as characters. All right, so we've got number 1. We have a list of races here. Hey, buddy. There's 6 races in this game. I think human is going to be the most common. Just because that's, I think, how fantasy games work generally. Actually, no, let's just do straight D6s. I think that's interesting. Have a pure mix here. Oh, so for number 1, and then we'll just roll the name right away. So character 1 is a half orc. All right, named what? 10? Named Drago. That really works really well with our high strength. And I'm not sure how that's going to go with the intelligence, but we'll see. Number 2 is a dwarf named Torben. Number 3 is an elf named Serial. And so I'm just going to go off of for gender, like what it is that I hear. So that says male to me, female for the elf. We've got a human named Yuri for number 4. That says male to me. For number 5, this character is another half-orc named Brolga. That says female to me. Oh, let's bring that back. We've got another dwarf named Elga. That's another female. So number 7 now is going to be a goblin. Okay, we've got a goblin now named Riggs. And that says male. Number 8 is another dwarf named Gendry. All right. So, okay, we know a little bit. Now we know character names, gender, and what races these different characters are. It's time to figure out 2 things. We've got some modifier and noun combinations that'll tell us sort of what the type of person, like what their occupation is, maybe what they do in their spare time, maybe what their backstory is, something like that. And for that, we need our D100s. We've got 95. We're going to go back, make a fresh little table. 95. Drago is a devoted. 18 is a devoted aristocrat. All right. Torben, the dwarf, is a meek. Crone. Okay. Number 3 is a 75. Is going to be, say that Serial is a touchy. Cleric. Is she a cleric? This is the Serial has high constitution and intelligence, and she's a touchy cleric, even though her wisdom is quite low. So we'll see how that works out. 63. Brolga. No, this is Yuri. Yuri is an obnoxious. Obnoxious courtier. And then Brolga is a subtle. Inquisitor. Oop, that's a 4. Elga is a superfluous. Adventurer. And as far as 7, 3, Riggs is a conformist. This is our goblin, by the way. He's a conformist thug. Okay. He does have higher strength. And number 8 here. This is going to be Gendry. Is an inexperienced merchant. All right. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, and the last thing that I think we're going to do here, as far as the session 0, we need to figure out their motivations that get paired with their modifier and noun, their descriptions. So that is going to be for number 1. I'm running out of room here on these pages, so give me a moment. Drago, as far as his motivation is to persecute. Persecute happiness. Okay, that's kind of strange. Torben here, he's looking to chronicle hate. Okay, that's interesting. Sariel is acquire. Sariel is looking to acquire progress. Now we're looking at Yuri. Whose motivation is to depress success. We got a lot of sort of negative things here, like persecute happiness, depress success. I guess chronicle hate might not be a negative thing if you're just like, you're not hateful yourself. You're just trying to record or whatever the hate. But that's still... Brolga, the half-orc, is looking to inform the poor. Elga is looking to drive laziness. All right. Riggs, the goblin, the resident goblin, his motivation is to obtain patience. All right, so he's not very patient. And then finally, Gendry the dwarf is looking to blight affluence. Okay, that's interesting. Man, I don't know. Okay, so we've got an intelligent and wise half-orc named Drago, who is a devoted aristocrat looking to persecute happiness. Torben the dwarf has fairly high dexterity and constitution. He is a meek crone who wants to chronicle hate. Sariel, the female elf, is character number 3. She's quite stout and intelligent. Her She is a touchy cleric looking to acquire progress. Yuri, the human male, who basically doesn't have anything going for him except for he's kind of smart. He is an obnoxious courtier that wants to depress success. Brolga, the female half orc, is a subtle inquisitor who wants to inform the poor. Elga, the female dwarf, is a superfluous adventurer who wants to drive laziness. Riggs, the male goblin, is a conformist thug who wants to obtain patience. And then Gendry, the male dwarf, is a inexperienced merchant who wants to blight affluence. That's interesting. Okay. Well, so those are our characters. That's sort of our cast going into the scene that we've got. The question that we have here, though, is what is the sort of scenario that we want to run for this sort of what I think they call a meat grinder session. So one of the things I'm noticing here is we have 3 out of the 8 that are dwarves. So that says to me it's likely that there's going to be something related to like mountains or something like that. I like that idea. So let's use the Mythic generator here to ask. We're going to go off Chaos 5 because that's where you start and we don't really have any reason to go higher or lower. Is this scenario related to like mountains or a dwarven kingdom? And I think that's going to be likely. Oh, we're on the wrong fate chart here. I think that's going to be likely. So we've got a 65% chance. Not only that, that's a hell yes. So because we rolled a 1, and the cutoff for the exceptional yes is 13. This scenario is going to be related to a dwarven mine. Let's say that. And that's why you sort of see, usually I think in fantasy type settings, you see mostly humans everywhere. So, but I think that's why, we also have a lot of half orcs and even a goblin with only 1 human and 1 elf. So I think this is a place where we're really not like near sort of the main sort of part of civilization. And we're sort of on this, I think it's a sort of an expeditionary area where the dwarves are striking the earth trying to find riches down below. Dwarf mine. So the question is, what happens at that mine? So I think what we want to do is roll a random event. But we know that this, because the context of this roll is that we want this to be something terrible happening to the area, that they're all going to have a bunch of trials and tribulations in order to survive and become level 1 characters. So first thing we do is we roll the event focus. What is this random event that's causing this catastrophe at this mine? So the first is the event focus of 21, which is going to be an NPC action. So someone else did something bad. Someone did something, and that is going to cause open. I got an idea from that already. Open war. Oh man. Okay, so yeah. I think what happens here is they're down, like I think we're in a dwarven mine, dwarven city, one of those things, a dwarven kingdom, where there's this city underground that the dwarves live in, and they're mining even deeper. They're trying to go, they just sort of got this, kingdom established, let's say in the last 100 years, and they finished up the entire place, and now they're trying to expand even further, and so they're striking deeper and deeper into the earth. But when they struck deep into the earth, they encountered something that is incredibly terrible and is causing this open war. So the NPC action is, I think, the ruler of the kingdom causing this expedition down into the earth that some entity or some group takes as sort of an invasion into its realm. So I think there's a small list of things that are gonna qualify for this. So we've got like something like the Underdark. We've got some demons. Maybe it's just hell down there, you know. What are some other options? There just Underdark things, so like dark elves and things like that. Dark elves, dark dwarves, demons. What are there any other options? I think the other option I think is actually let's just go with those two. So we're gonna roll 50-50 on the fate chart. The question is it sort of a demonic portal that is opened by? Is it a demonic portal that was opened? With a 69, that is going to be a no. So it's sort of an Underdark. There's just going to be dark. It's Underdark basically. I don't need to write anything. Just circle that. So the dwarves struck down into the earth, and let's say that the common citizens of the dwarven city didn't know about this. This maybe happened some time ago. Let's say almost a year ago, that the king on their expedition started encroaching on the Underdark territory of the evil side of things, and then but so that happened about a year ago, but it was only very recently that they basically, what I think happened is there's an assault on the dwarven city that came from like 3 or 4 directions at once, and all of a sudden, like, it's the middle of the night. We haven't really figured out how that works here, but in the middle of the night, basically, the Underdark attacks the city from 3 or 4 different directions, crashing through some of the stone walls, and basically it's just madness throughout the place. And cool. I think that's all the information we sort of need in order to generate what's going to happen in the first scenario, in the first scene. So awesome. I think that basically ends what is going to be session 0 for me. I'll probably make up a little character sheet for each of these guys. But yeah. Cool. I'm excited about this. We'll see you next time.